Welcome to segment 1, and today we're going to talk about the proper placement of a tee. The tee is a valuable tool that can be used for athletes from the time they can pick up a bat up through the majors. And the advantage of using a tee is that a player can get a lot of reps in a short amount of time. It also allows the player to focus on specific mechanics or part of the swing without worrying about a ball and movement. The thing we have to be very careful with, though, is that if we're going to use the tee and we're going to get a lot of those reps, we got to make sure that they're quality reps. So everything we do on the tee needs to simulate as much as possible what a player is going to see in a game. So today we're going to talk a little bit about proper tee placement when we're working on a tee. A couple things I want us to keep in mind, and that is, first of all, is that when we go to a big box store, we buy a tee. A lot of the tees today, they look like a home plate, and they have the tee sticking right out of the top of the tee. Well, for a young player, when they see this, they start to create in their mind this image that, well, I'm supposed to hit the ball right on top of home plate. And that's very far from the truth. Typically, depending on where a hitter lines up in the batter's box, a lot of times we're going to hit the ball out in front of home plate. So what I would caution anybody that's working at home with their athlete is that you want to make sure that we establish home plate is separate from the tee. Now, what I like to do is I like to, first of all, store down a home plate, but you can use a glove, you can use the lid off of a bucket, anything in it that you can find that you can use so that the player has a point of reference of where home plate is. And then I would get that athlete to set up in the box just like you would in a game. And then once the player does that, then you can set up the tee in the proper position. So if I were hitting and my athlete were to line up something like this at home plate, then I definitely don't want to put that tee right here, because now my player's trying to hit the ball right on top of the tee. He's going to get jammed. He's not going to be in a good power position to hit the ball. So we want to find a place out in front of the plate, or out in front of the hitter, I should say, that allows that hitter to get to that good power position at contact. Rather than feeling jammed in here, trying to hit in here, we're out here in front. The back arm is slightly bent at the point of contact. Okay. So you definitely want to make sure that you have the tee out in front of the hitter. The second thing that we want to emphasize when we're using the tee is that it's real easy for a player to get dialed in if we leave the tee in the same location for the entire drill. The problem with that is that's not what's going to happen in a game. That ball is going to change in elevation. So it's always a good idea to make sure we're changing the height of the tee. We can move it up and down, get it down to the bottom of the hitting zone, maybe up a little bit at the waist, so that hitter is taking swings at different elevations. And then the last thing I want to point out is anytime we're working on the tee or any other drill, whether it's side toss or whatever it might be, we want to make sure that our hitters are in a good stance, including where his eyes are. If I were working with tee work with the hitter, I want to make sure that he's not dialed in at the point of contact and taking multiple swings at this point of contact, because he's going to get in that habit. Now when a pitcher's in, now his head and his eyes aren't really focused on the pitcher and tracking that ball with both eyes. So we want to make sure that we get both eyes squared up to the pitcher. Now, when we're working tee work, what does that look like? Well, the best thing to do when I work with my hitters is we're going to simulate. So we're going to tell the hitter to load, track, swing. He'll go back, load, track, swing. So he's getting used to shaking his eyes and tracking the ball from the pitcher's release point to the point of contact.